Howdy there, Gabriel here, and this video is titled God Loves Hitchhikers, Creating Your Reality. I've been talking in a couple of previous videos about the concepts of synchronicity and the holographic universe, and I thought that I would tell a little story of creating my reality. I've had so many experiences in my life of just weird, strange, crazy, trippy coincidences, otherwise known as synchronicities, in which the universe just pulled through for me at the last minute. Just strange coincidences, running into people on the other side of the world, etc. So this is one of those stories. So I was hitchhiking. So I'm a professional hitchhiker of sorts. I first started hitchhiking when I was 8 years old. I lived out a dirt road in Northern California. And the bus would drop me off at the bottom of this road, and I tell this story and lots of other hitchhiking stories in my book Following My Thumb, and also in my other book Kundalini, The Art of Being. So I first started hitchhiking when I was a kid in order to cover this 1.5 miles from where the bus dropped me off to where our house was up this dirt road. And then when I was 18, then I traveled to Europe and hitchhiked the whole length of the United Kingdom. And then took trains around the rest of Europe, but then I've done lots of other hitchhiking all around the United States, Alaska, Hawaii, and a few different countries. So I was in Nevada in the middle of nowhere with a couple of friends. We were going from a rainbow gathering. Rainbow gatherings are these sort of awesome freeform festivals in the woods that happen all over the world. And we were going from one rainbow gathering in Oregon, a small little regional one, to the big national United States rainbow gathering, which happens every year in July. And so we were going from Oregon to New Mexico. And we're in Nevada, in the middle of the desert. We go out Highway 50, which is called the loneliest highway in America, and we definitely experienced it that way. And we got 30, 40, 50 miles outside of the town of Fernley, which Highway 50 splits off of Interstate 80. So Interstate 80 is the main route, and then Highway 50 is the old main route that hardly anybody actually travels now. But it was a more direct route for us, and it's prettier. We just thought it would be, more interesting. So we get stuck in the middle of nowhere outside of the nearest town is 30, 40 miles away. I don't even remember how we ended up getting dropped off in this one place. And we're stuck there for several hours. At one point, we start hitchhiking both ways. There's a couple of us on one side of the street going east, and then there's somebody else on the other side of the road who's hitching west. We're just figuring anyone who gets us going in one direction or the other, is getting us out of here at least, and then we take some other route. So finally, this one guy, a guy named Forrest, says, you know what, we need to make an intention. Let's call out to the universe and say exactly what we want. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to write down exactly what we want and be specific about it on a piece of paper, and then we're going to burn it. We had a little bit of sage, or maybe we just got some off the side of the road, but I think one of us had some dried sage, like from a smudge stick, and someone had like a conch shell or something. So we all sat down together in a circle, the 3 or 4 of us, and threw some specifics out there. All right, we want to ride with a really nice person in a roomy vehicle who is going at least 800 miles within the next 30 minutes, something like that. And so we wrote it down and crumpled up the piece of paper, put it in the conch shell along with the sage, burned it, and all of us kind of meditatively watching it happen and just kind of putting that vibe out there into the universe. And then we went back to hitchhiking. And so we stood there for 20-30 minutes, and there weren't very many cars. A car every maybe 10-15 minutes at that. So a car finally comes flying down the road, and it's a station wagon, and it goes flying past us as we're all standing there, and we sort of turn and look longingly as it keeps going, and then it slows to a stop, turns around, comes back, pulls up in front of us, and it is a station wagon that is chock full of stuff. A really nice guy gets out and he says, well, my car's kind of full, that's why I didn't stop at first, but I guess I can tie it all on top and see if we can make it work. So he takes a bunch of the stuff out of his vehicle there, ties it up on top of the car. We're able to squeeze in there with our backpacks and everything. And it turns out this guy is driving all the way to Colorado, so through Nevada, all the way across Utah and to Colorado. We stayed with this guy for the next 2 days. We spent 2 nights sleeping out in the desert with him, and shared lots of stories. He was a great guy, a college kid, and so there you go. That's just a little example of putting your intention out there into the universe, understanding that this world is not a random assortment of physical objects that are just clanging around according to scientific principles in a somewhat random fashion, but instead that the universe is a multi-dimensional creation. The physical world is not all that there is, but there is energy emanating from everything, that there are divine conscious forces beyond the physical realm that are working with us in order to help us create our reality, and that the reality that we create is a manifestation of our personal energy field and the thoughts and emotions that we are thinking and feeling and broadcasting out there into the world. So put an intention out there. What do you want? You have to take initiative and make it clear to the universe, I'm not irresponsible. I am responsible for my life. I'm the one creating this. If I want a different reality, then I need to step forward and take responsibility for my life. Recognize that I am creating the world that I live in, the life that I'm living, and be communicating with those unseen forces and just working with them and being willing to accept their help in how they work with reality in helping to bring to you that which you desire. So that's one take on creating your reality, otherwise known as the law of attraction. Thanks for watching. Namaste.